To many, war means gun, conflict and destruction, a violent struggle between nations or a group within a country. But in Northern Uganda, war has taken a different meaning. For Jimmy Akena, President of the Uganda People's Congress, war is about survival. It's a fight to sustain livelihood, a war against ticks. In Apache and Aleptong districts, newly rehabilitated cattle deep tanks stand as a symbol of recovery and resilience.
I have declared a war on the ticks. So there will be no tick safe within the whole of Lango, Teso and Acholi, the area which was affected with the loss of animals. I'm starting by restoring the dips which existed, the ones which integrity are still okay, and the ones which are workable, and working with the community where it's acceptable and the local governments will be repairing dips, helping charge the dips and getting the communities to dip their animals as we're doing today here.
More than 80 cattle dip tanks across greater northern Uganda, including Lango, Acholi and Teso, are earmarked for rehabilitation within a short period of time. Among those already restored are a Bukamola cattle dip in Aleptong district, a Kokoro dip in a Kokoro sub-county in Apache district. Many of these facilities became dysfunctional after massive cattle losses during the 1986 insurgencies in northern Uganda. For northern Uganda, cattle were more than animals. They were wealth, they were pride, and they were security.
Even the drugs that we are using for spraying it cannot move in all parts of the animal where the ticks is hiding. So we are seeing that if we can use only 3 towers to spray the animal locally when we were using before the restoration of this dip, and we put only 200 shillings per cow. Now you do it mathematically. We shall be making sure that 3 towers can make us to spray or dump 10 cows in this state.
The government of Uganda, through its cabinet, agreed to President Yoweri Kaguta Museveni's new proposal to compensate each household in Lango Acholi and Teso sub-regions with 5/8 of cattle as a wiper for their tears.
With Northern Uganda, we are going to launch, we tried to launch restocking because of the war which was here. We tried to launch restocking some years ago, then some people brought court case, then we got diverted to what they were calling compensation. Now, recently I called some leaders and I said, you people, why can't we have a democratic formula of dealing with restocking? So I propose, as a suggestion, I said, suppose we give 5 cows to each homestead. So when I brought it, some small few people didn't want it, but the majority supported it. I have already got response from Teso and Lango by the leaders, and I'm now instructing the government to plan for it, because it's a big project.
Cattle dipping in Uganda dates back to 1960s, when the government formalized the practice under the Animal Disease Act to combat tick-borne diseases.
As Uganda People's Congress, we came up with a different method on how the restoration of our livelihoods around cattle could be met. Put it clear in the manifesto, it's not a 5-year affair, it will take a number of years, but it is possible, and we can have a restoration of what the raw cattle is. I don't look at cattle as just as an asset. It was more like an insurance. It covered education insurance, it covered marriage insurance, it covered education insurance. Cattle could solve all the problems of society. So if you look at it simply as a returned asset, we're going to run into a problem. And in order to be able to do so, us ourselves, my children and next generation, need to learn how to take care of the cattle. So any program which is to restore cattle in this part of the country will start by training, will start by awareness.
Many deep tanks in the north were constructed in the early 1970s during the first administration of former President Dr. Apollo Milton Obote, but years later, instability left many abandoned. Now, through Jimmy Akena Foundation, efforts are underway to restore livestock production and rebuild economic resilience.
The cows in Northern Uganda generally have developed a resistance to ticks. Now, the biggest effect is on the productivity and the growth of the cows. As to natural remedies, within these bushes there is medicine that the herdsmen know what to do. However, I must say that besides a large-scale kind of arrangement like this, many farmers will get their hand spray and do what they can. But the biggest challenge is this, and I think I need to make this very clear. One of the biggest problems is counterfeit products. Many farmers have lost livestock on account of counterfeit products. Or sometimes the products you cannot get them. Again, many of them it's expensive, it's costly, and then it is hard to find. You just leave it to nature. And like the president says, God is there.
Because in northern Uganda, this war is not fought with bullets. It is fought with water, with concrete, and with cattle.
Tick-borne disease remains a big challenge across the country, and farmers lose millions of shillings in managing animals against this because we have close to 7 major diseases that are transmitted by ticks, and look at that, extrapolate it into money. The cost of acaricides alone are a little expensive, so most farmers can't afford. Now that's why we give credit to a big man like this who has seen the plight of the people around here. In my district, people are suffering in the same way just like any other part of the country.
A different kind of war, one aimed at restoring dignity, wealth and hope.